It's 2025 and most of you guys probably know that it doesn't take a tech genius to build a website today. Regardless of what kind of website you're building, if you're building an e-commerce website, a basic blog, a business website, the most complex looking layouts, all of that can be done without getting any technical by using dedicated tools that are designed to build websites. We call them website builders. But out of all these website builders available, which is the right website builder for you? That is what the video is about. In this video, I'm going to break down our top 7 website builders and what are the ideal use cases you should be using them for when you're thinking of building a website. The number one website builder that most people should be considering, and I say most people should be choosing as their first website builder of choice, is WordPress.org. It's no secret that WordPress dominates the web. Approximately 44% of the entire internet websites, I'm talking about the entire internet websites, are built on WordPress. And here I'm talking about WordPress.org, which is a self-hosted version of WordPress, which is a software you can download and get used on any hosting provider. So if WordPress is something you want to use and understand how to build a website with WordPress, there'll be links down in the description and also in the pinned comment on how to get started with WordPress. By the way, if you didn't know, WordPress actually started in 2003. And you can build any kind of website with it. If you want to build a hobby blog, that's possible. If you want to build a complete business blog with features, you can do that. Complex web apps, e-commerce websites, magazine websites, and it's used by a lot of different kinds of people. Beginner website owners, bloggers, and even Fortune 500 companies actually use WordPress to build their websites. Some notable names which you might have heard of, which use WordPress, are the White House, Sony Music, New York Times, and many others actually use WordPress to build the websites. The best part about WordPress is the open ecosystem. It's completely free and open source, so you don't worry about any one company controlling the software. It's completely available for free, and the ecosystem around it. You have thousands and thousands of plugins, themes, and tons of developers you can get and find to develop custom solutions. If you want to use WordPress to build your website, you'll have to pair it with a hosting provider to host the software. The software itself is free. Our first recommendation goes to Bluehost. It's a very, very affordable hosting provider that anybody can use. The hosting quality is great, the service is great, the pricing is great, you get a free domain name, and the performance of the hosting is also great. There's some pros and cons to WordPress. Let me talk about them so that you can make an informed decision whether you should be using WordPress.org to build your website. The first one is, of course, the big advantage is you have complete ownership of your content. You don't need to worry about, hey, which company owns my data? It's all you. And then you have endless customization options. So you can build any website of your dreams. Whatever you can imagine probably can be built with WordPress. Then you have a huge community support because there's so many developers and people supporting WordPress. Any kind of tutorials you need, any kind of information you need, there's probably somewhere you can find that information even for free sometimes. Then it's also SEO friendly out of the box. It's basically designed to be easy to use and also SEO friendly. And you can, of course, get products like All-in SEO, install plugins on top of WordPress to unlock even greater features when it comes to WordPress. And then, of course, you have thousands of themes and plugins as well. So you can get all kinds of themes for free, all kinds of plugins for free, and enhance the functionality of WordPress even without paying any kind of money. And of course, if you want to go professional features, professional support, you can always go for premium plugins or themes, which are available by a lot of different developers. Now, there are some downsides to WordPress, even though I would say they're not as important as the upsides. The first downside is that, hey, it might be a little complicated to learn for beginners. But that's what we're here for. We at Double Beginner have been educating people about WordPress since long time. And this channel is entirely dedicated to educate people about WordPress. So if you subscribe to this channel, then this con is not a con for you. The second is that it requires regular maintenance. Now, I'm not talking about maintenance like opening the engine of a car and tweaking things around, but you have to basically log into your site and just update a few themes and plugins. It just takes a couple of clicks, but something to know about because WordPress gives you control, and with control also gives, with control comes great responsibility. Well, not a Spider-Man quote, but that's what it is. That, hey, if you have a lot of control, then you are responsible for things on your site, and that's a good thing because you are in control of what happens to your website. That's something to understand. And for beginners, as I said, WordPress software is free and a lot of people don't understand. So the domain name and hosting has to be connected together with WordPress. So it might be a little, that's a technical understanding for people. And if I have to explain the difference between a domain name and hosting and what all of these are. So a domain name is simply like a phone number. You can buy a phone number from any service provider, but you also need cell service to connect, right? So if you just have phone number, but there's no cell service, it doesn't work. And you also need a server. So it's like a phone. You have a phone that takes a phone number, but you also need cell service. So all three components have to come together. And for beginners, it might be a little challenging to understand the concept of, well, hey, why do I have to pay for a phone? Then I have to pay for cell service as well. I have to pay for a phone number as well. So that's how, or that's the best analogy I can give you to understand or explain how this works. But in any, I'd say, case, WordPress.org or WordPress, the software, is a great choice if you want to build a website. The next website builder of choice that you can use to build a website is Wix. Now, it started in 2006, and their value proposition from the beginning was, hey, let non-technical users build a website. Today, they power over 200 million websites, which sounds like a lot, but compared to WordPress, it's a very small number. Now, one thing that I would like about WordPress is their built-in features to help people build a website. Many hosting providers also offer this choice that, hey, they help you design a website from scratch. For example, Bluehost does. But Wix has their own AI-based solution. You can describe what kind of website you need and help you actually design a website. And they also have invested in features that are not out of the box available in WordPress. For example, their native interface is what you see is what you get. So you can basically drag and drop things around and then build a website that whatever you see on screen that you're building is your actual website. For WordPress, it is possible, but not out of the box. You'll need to use like a plugin like SeedProd so that you can build the entire experience. So WordPress gives you more control that you can use block builder or other page builders, but Wix offers it out of the box. Now, depending on whatever you prefer, you can choose either of these options. Now, the pricing for Wix starts a little steeper compared to WordPress. WordPress, as I said, the software is free. You pay for hosting, and I already showed you the pricing that you need to pay for hosting is very, very cheap. But for Wix, the pricing is quite steep. It starts at $17 a month for the basic plan. But this is country specific. So if you are from India, you pay a different pricing. But from the US, this is the pricing that you will pay for basic plan. If I have to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of Wix, then first thing I'll say is it's a user-friendly interface. So they have invested a lot of resources into making sure that Wix is easy to use, and that definitely helps. They also have beautiful templates out of the box. This is again not specific or I'd say exclusive to Wix. Also other platforms and especially WordPress, which I talked about, also offer this. They also offer built-in hosting. So you don't have to purchase hosting and set everything up. So it's a kind of an easy-based solution for most beginners to think, hey, I'll just click a couple of buttons and my website will be live. So that's also good. They also have included AI-powered design tools out of the box inside the platform. Since they are the hosting provider, they are also the platform. They have done this. And they also have a free plan, which is very, very limited. If you're building a serious website, the free plan is pretty limited. So that's one thing to keep in mind. That's also one downside. Speaking of other downsides, you have limited customization options compared to WordPress. So even though you have template choices and other choices, the ecosystem of plugins and themes available in WordPress overshadows Wix by a lot. So you don't have complete control if you want to actually make complete changes to the platform. That's one thing. And one thing is you can't switch templates after launch, because if you, let's say, build your website completely and then you want to change templates, it's usually hassle. So always something to keep in mind. If you're building a website, choose the right template for you on day one. And also they have pricier plans for business features. So in WordPress, even if you, let's say, pay a couple of dollars a month, you can still have any kind of features you want to have installed. But in this platform, specifically Wix, you have to keep paying, or I say pay more money to unlock business features. In this case, e-commerce, other features, they'll cost you quite a lot of money. I'll paste a screenshot on the screen so you can understand what kind of pricing you pay. So even though there's some downsides, Wix still offers a very good balance for beginners to start building a website. But the pricing is quite high in my opinion. So make a choice if you think Wix is the right choice. Again, links to everything will be in the description and also in the pinned comment. So you can decide and start building your website today. The next website builder of choice is very synonymous to the internet because it's called web.com. And web.com has been in the market since 1999, making it one of the oldest players in the website building space. And they have a quite interesting value proposition. They figured out a great way to balance simplicity and functionality because they offer both sides, or they try to serve both sides of the equation. So if you're an absolute beginner and you want to just like click a few buttons and have your website ready, then it is optional. That kind of feature set or that kind of way of building a website is available to you. But if you want to get your hands dirty and build things from scratch, that kind of is also possible in web.com. So it's an interesting proposition of trying to assign, or I say, trying to do all things for all people. To be more specific, web.com ideally offers their services to small business owners, or at least the hosting or the product is directed at small business owners. And that's why they have invested quite a lot of bit in support. So they proud themselves in saying, hey, we still have human-based support. And that's one of the USPs that they actually offer with their website builder. The pricing for web.com starts at just $4.99 a month, which is very affordable. And as I mentioned, they offer both sides or both ends of the spectrum. So you can do a DIY solution, build your own website, or get professional services on top of it and get your website built. If I talk about the pros and cons, there are some in both departments, so let me just mention them. First of all, web.com, the website builder is quite easy to use, I'd say, and you can always opt for professional design services. Now, one thing to keep in mind is with WordPress, as I said, everything is possible with WordPress. I'm making the comparison to WordPress because that's the gold standard of website building for quite a long time. So let's say, for example, you go for WordPress and you say, hey, even have the tools, I don't know how to design things, or I don't understand how to do this specific thing in WordPress. You have professional services available from rest of the world. And of course, we at Double Beginner also offer professional services. We offer website design services, malware removal, security, maintenance, and a lot of different services. So if you are thinking of, hey, well, WordPress doesn't offer professional services, that's why I'll go for web.com, then I'd say that don't worry, even with WordPress, these kind of services are available. But again, it's not part of the package, or I'd say given with the platform, because the software is designed, or software is basically, it's a small part of the equation. So coming back to the pros and cons, as I said, it's an affordable starting price for web.com, very, very affordable that anybody can start it. And they include a domain name in there as well. And they have, as I said, always great customer support. They pride themselves in saying that they have manual or a human customer support agents, even in the world of automation and AI. And talking about the cons, that they have limited blogging features. Now, so WordPress started as primarily a blogging platform and then built on top of it. So if you are looking to build a blog, then WordPress might be a better choice. Make sure to test things out before you make the final decision. And of course, the e-commerce functionality on web.com are limited. So it's not a full-fledged e-commerce site builder. If you want to, on WordPress, you can do that. On other platforms, you can do that. But web.com has limited features. And even if you're building an online store, you have a restriction of 50 products. So that's kind. If you're building an e-commerce site, then web.com probably is not the right choice for you. Building a small business website, building a small website in general, building a small blog, still a decent choice. So that's web.com for you. Do you think it's great? Not? Let me know in the comments. But what I'll do is just talk about the next website builder. The next website builder of choice is designed for a specific kind of audience, and I'll explain that. It's called HubSpot. And if you don't know what HubSpot is a marketing platform, marketing software. It's a suite of products, and it's a very, very big enterprise which helps with small businesses market products and services and help them manage their businesses. So essentially, the HubSpot website builder is a very affordable and I say a great featured product. But the USP of HubSpot's website builder is that it connects to other software and other features or other offerings that HubSpot has. So HubSpot has CRM software and other kinds of softwares. So if you use the HubSpot website builder, it'll natively integrate with HubSpot CRM. That's the big advantage. And the reason for this is that HubSpot believes that every website is not like just shouldn't look good. It should also generate business, which is what we believe as well. So what they've done is that taken their software offerings and then build their website builder on top of that so that everything integrates together. Now, it's affordable. Let's say it's not the most expensive solution. It starts at $15 a month, but there's some pros and cons which you should be aware about. So let me talk about them as well. So first of all, the first advantage is that they have integrated marketing tools. I already mentioned that. They have a powerful CRM that I already mentioned that HubSpot CRM is very well known in the industry for being a great feature set. And they have professional templates and it's designed for generating traffic. So you'll get a lot of personalization options with their website builder so that you can actually get more leads. So it's ideally designed to generate more business. Then you have strong analytics as well. So you get a lot of data about, hey, how users are consuming your information, what are they doing on the site, all that. And again, all of this is possible with WordPress if you connect Google Analytics, but this is natively built in out of the box. And then you have a free plan available as well. I'll put up a pricing comparison on the screen so you can make a comparison between the free plan and the premium plan. On the disadvantages, the first main disadvantage is that's a steeper learning curve. For example, with WordPress, let's say you're building a website WordPress, you can find thousands and thousands of tutorials available to do almost anything. So even though the learning curve might be a little steep, you can still find all the information in the world to do something. HubSpot is not that popular. So anything that you want to do, you might have to contact support, or you might have to just go online tutorials or figure everything out yourself. So it makes it a little more difficult for people to get started with it. And of course, for more advanced features, it is quite a lot expensive. So HubSpot is a giant company and they serve medium to large businesses. So their software offerings, even though they have free plans available, the premium plans are priced accordingly. So if you are generating a big business, then you won't expect software to be a couple of dollars a month. So their CRM and everything that you will get will eventually, whatever limits you hit, and then if you have to upgrade to the Pro plan, will be quite expensive. So you have to keep that in mind when you are building a site. And the third disadvantage is that a HubSpot builder, even though it's designed for conversions, it doesn't give you the complex features to build visually stunning websites. With WordPress, for example, you can build a lot of great looking websites and even add things on top for conversions. But HubSpot's main importance is, hey, let's build a website for generating leads. So if you want to have a special visual look, or let's say do something specific on your site, it might not be possible with HubSpot Builder because the goalpost is quite different. Both of the softwares, especially comparing with WordPress, is quite different when it comes to building your website. So that's the HubSpot website builder view. Let's talk about the next one as well. The next website builder of choice is specific to e-commerce, and it's called WooCommerce. Now, just to clarify, WooCommerce is an extension of WordPress. So it's a plugin that you install on WordPress and get this functionality. But a lot of people, when they start out, they're looking for website builders, but in short, they want to build an e-commerce website. So this is specifically mentioned here for this reason only, that you can build a fully functional, completely functional website directly on WordPress with the help of WooCommerce. Now, WooCommerce might not be as popular as WordPress, powering 50% of the websites, but it still powers over 9% of the online stores worldwide. And it's not just a mom and pop store or a hobby e-commerce site. Even big giants, big enterprises actually use WooCommerce to build their e-commerce website. The best part about WooCommerce is the same things that are great about WordPress. Complete flexibility. So with WooCommerce example, you can sell physical products, you can sell digital products, you can sell memberships, affiliate products, tons of things. And of course, you can add more functionality and customize your website however you like with WordPress and WooCommerce. So if you have WooCommerce, you can add more things on top, add more features without having the hassle of figuring out our code, and you can build a complete website. So what are the pros and cons of using WooCommerce? Let me tell you about them. First, you have complete control over your store. Now, again, as I mentioned, with more control comes more responsibility. So it's completely your choice if you want retain more control over your store. But I'm assuming that if you're starting out with WooCommerce, then you would want more control because it's your own website and you want to sell products. The next thing is that there's no transaction fee. Now, I'm talking about WooCommerce, not payment gateways. If you have a payment gateway like Stripe, they'll charge you. But to use WooCommerce and whatever transactions you process through WooCommerce or make sales through WooCommerce, you don't have to pay a penny. Some platforms do charge you a platform fee, a success fee, or a product selling fee. That's not here. You can sell unlimited products. There's no limit on how many products you can sell. You can have 1,000 products, 2,000 products. I have built a website myself many years ago, which had over 3,500 e-commerce products with variable products and a lot of the things. So you can do it on, I'd say, budget hosting. You don't have to spend a lot of money on hosting. And then you have extensive payment options because it's a plugin supported ecosystem. You can use any kind of payment gateways you want. There are a lot of available. I think I've done a few videos on how to use payment gateways in WordPress. So you can refer to that video as well. And then you have a large extension marketplace. As I said, not only you can have extensions on WordPress, you can have extensions or add-ons to WooCommerce. So get for subscription payments, for accepting payments, adding more features to WooCommerce store. Everything is possible with a plugin. The cons are that, hey, it requires, again, a little bit of knowledge about WordPress and WooCommerce to get started, but that's what we are here. If you go through our channel, we make videos about, hey, how to use WooCommerce, how to build websites. And I think I've done a very long video, 1.5 hour video on how to use WooCommerce and set everything up. So I will link that in the description as well. So you can refer to that if you're looking to build an e-commerce website with WooCommerce. And of course, you need separate hosting. So WooCommerce definitely is free. Add-ons might be free or might be paid, but hosting is not free. I already explained the concept of having a phone and a phone number and a cell service. So that's the same thing. And once again, you need to know the ins and outs and maintain your website yourself. So you need to have updates, plugins, WordPress updates and everything else and back up your website. And again, depending on the hosting provider you get, some of these things might be taken care for you automatically. For example, as I mentioned, Bluehost offers hosting or I say backup options. So basically what I'm saying is that you not have a responsibility of, hey, I need to log into my website every day to check updates, or I need to do a backup every day. There are a lot of plugin solutions available to take care of that. So you just have to set things up once, and rest of the things are smooth sailing in my opinion. Right? So that's WooCommerce view. Again, links in the description. Let's talk with the next one. The next website builder of choice is again WordPress. And you might think, hey, this wasn't the first choice. Well, this is a different kind of WordPress. If you don't know, WordPress comes in two flavors, two versions. One is WordPress.org, commonly referred to WordPress.org, but the technical term is self-hosted WordPress. Since WordPress is software, you can download it and upload it or use it on a server. So that's WordPress.org, which is the first point. But the second point here is if you want to build a website, the second option is WordPress.com, which is also known as hosted WordPress, which means that everything, the software part, the hosting part is taken care of by WordPress. So if you want to build a website and quickly get started and don't need to worry about hosting, then WordPress.com is a different choice or different, as a ballgame altogether. Now, the benefit of WordPress using WordPress.com is that it is a very, very easy to use solution. You don't have to worry about hosting, maintenance, and WordPress.com offers serves few of the biggest customers in the world when it comes to websites. I'll put a screenshot here on what kind of businesses actually use WordPress.com to host their websites. Some other benefits to using WordPress.com is that it's free to get started. So if you want to just get a taste of WordPress, you can build a website for free, but it'll be linked to a WordPress.com domain name. But you can pay a little bit of money to get started and connect your own domain name. If I have to talk about the pros and cons, here they are. So first of all, WordPress, very, very easy to use, very easy to get started. Few clicks and your website will be ready and live in a few minutes. And of course, it's managed hosting. So the hosting is the backbone of the website. And with WordPress.com, you don't have to never worry about hosting. It's I'd say one of the best hosting providers in the world when it comes to hosting a WordPress website. And of course, you also get maintenance done for you. So regular updates for plugins, themes, everything is taken care of you. Security, caching, everything is done for you. And you have great blogging features, which are part of WordPress. So that's stunning as well. And you get professional templates. Now, depending on the plans, you might need to unlock some future features to install plugins and themes. So I'll put a pricing screenshot on the screen so you can compare, hey, what pricing plan you need to have to unlock what kind of features. And you also have e-commerce functionality, but at the higher tier plan. So make a choice accordingly of if you want to use WordPress.com, or you can also go to the WordPress.org route. Now, as I mentioned, one of the cons is that, hey, limit plugin options on lower plans. So if you are on a lower plan, you might not be able to use all the plugins in the marketplace. You might be restricted to a few plugins that they have whitelisted as being able to use in an option. Another thing to keep in mind is that WordPress.com is not as flexible as WordPress.org, right? So you won't get exactly feature parity with WordPress.org, at least in the beginning plans. You need to pay a lot more to get those features unlocked for you. And of course, you have higher costs for business plans because it's more of a peace of mind kind of a website builder rather than, hey, let me do everything myself. So that's WordPress.com for you. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let's go to the last hosting provider. The next website builder of choice is again specialized to e-commerce. It's called Shopify. Now, Shopify started as a small business in 2006, and now it's a giant business which helps a lot of different businesses set up their online stores and start selling online. I think it powers over 4 million websites today. It's a massive number. So the benefits of Shopify are actually immense. What Shopify has done is, instead of just making the online selling process easy, they figured out that, hey, if you want to make a merchant successful, you have to understand and build software or build solutions for all parts of the process. So they have software, and I say included part of their package is inventory management, or I say support, and a lot of different things. So whatever challenge they figured out is important for merchant success, they actually build on top of it. So Shopify is more of a hosted solution similar to WordPress.com. So it starts at $29 a month, but in that package, you get everything. So you don't have to worry about hosting, download the software, upload it. You just click and then your site is ready in a few minutes. Now, since it's their own custom CMS, you have to be restricted to what they offer. Now, since the Shopify ecosystem is quite large, most of the time you'll be able to find all the solutions that you're looking for on the Shopify marketplace with the help of extensions, and even development options are available. As I mentioned, that you don't have to worry about hosting and maintenance and everything else because it's a hosted platform. So you can focus more on selling rather than maintaining your site and figuring out why it's not performing speed and why it's not performing fast and everything else. So that's a huge advantage. So let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages and discuss and figure out which is the right choice or what are the things that we need to understand about Shopify. So of course, it has powerful e-commerce features, as I already mentioned, and they also try to solve a lot of different merchant problems, not just with selling, but everything else as well. And you have built-in payment processing. So you don't have to worry about like going to payment processor, integrating it. It's built in out of the box. And you also have excellent inventory management, which can be a huge challenge. For WordPress, these solutions are available, but you need to find those out and integrate them on your store. It's not native out of the box that you can connect with a lot of warehouse solutions or something like that. And of course, you have 24/7 support. So that's also very, very powerful. And you have a large app marketplace. If I have to talk about the downsides, it's pricier compared to WooCommerce or WordPress.com. But again, that comes with peace of mind and some features and extra support. And of course, you have transaction fees unless using Shopify payments. So if you have any kind of payment solution on top, you will pay a little bit of money depending on the plan you have. Again, it's not a very specific answer, but on lower plans, you might have to pay a 1-2% transaction fee or success fee or product selling fee apart on top of that, unless you're using Shopify payments, as I mentioned. And then you get limited customization features. As I mentioned, with WordPress and WooCommerce, everything is available to you. So if you want to break your site, you can actually go and break your site. Don't recommend it, but I'm just saying that anything you want to have and do, you can actually do. With Shopify, things are restricted, but that's might be a good thing depending on what you're trying to do. And a lot of big businesses use Shopify and a lot of big businesses use WooCommerce. So it completely comes down to a preference of choice and preference of what you think is a better solution for you if you're trying to sell things online. So that's all the website builders of choice in 2025. Let me know what you think, which is the right website builder for you. Let me know that in the comments as well. And my name is Yuvraj. I'm watching And you're watching W Beginner. I'll catch you in the next video really, really soon. Take care.